Rossiter has to make his move. Marshall trying to draw that foul. Marshall still makes the three!
Wala ka nang magagawa ron. Lahat ng depensa ginawa ng Miguel Rossiter.
Two of those games, he was really spectacular. As Cabanon doesn't care if he's coming off a career series.
Cross. So bounce pass lang ang mabibigay rito.
Here we go. Oh! Santos, huli! Ni Rivas! Rafi Rivas getting it done! Magnolia relying on their defense to steal game number one!
As this crowd joins all of you, saan man kayo naroon for game number 2 of the finals of the Philippine Cup. You know, there are different ways to view San Miguel's 20-point lead in game 1. Well, all that matters is San Miguel did not hold on to that edge, and Magnolia roared back and took game 1. Expect the Beermen to be eager to bounce back to erase the horrors of that game, and expect Magnolia as well to try their hardest again to contain the Beermen. Hello, everybody. Bringing you inside the Mall of Asia Arena. We've got a 3-man panel tonight. Grand Slam coach Norman Black joining Grand Slam columnist Quinito Henson. And it should be an interesting perspective from the panel here tonight. Let's start right away and talk about San Miguel in that game. Coach Norman, strong start, but their ending was not as what they had expected it to be.
Yeah, San Miguel got off to a strong start. It is not because the hot shots didn't play well. It was more that San Miguel shot the basketball very, very well, particularly Jumar Fajardo, who got off to a great start along with his teammates. And you can see in that first and second quarter, they practically dominated the game as they went up by 20 points in this basketball game. But then the fourth quarter became a completely different story.
You don't win it really in the first 3 quarters. You've got to play all the way to the fourth quarter to make that happen, Coach Norman.
Yeah, a lot of good defense coming from the hot shots in that fourth quarter. Led to a lot of turnovers for the San Miguel Beermen. And in the end, maybe a little bit of a controversial call at the end, but at the same time, you have to give Magnolia credit for coming back and winning the basketball game.
Okay, we'll get into that in just a short while. Meanwhile, Quinito, if we talk about Magnolia, their defense held for them, and it's now an issue on who has the capacity to last in this series.
Well said, Norman. Magnolia is the #1 defensive team sa liga natin. And the figures pointed out, and they showed it, particularly in the fourth period, saan nakakuha sila ng napakaraming turnovers against San Miguel. San Miguel lapsed into 8 turnovers in that quarter, 5 coming from Jumar Fajardo, and as against only 2 for Magnolia. Also, in that fourth quarter to open it, it was a 13-0 run. Now, coming from the third quarter, that was actually a 18-0 blitz by Magnolia, bridging the third and the fourth quarters. Ito yung sinasabi natin, sobrang dami ng turnovers ng San Miguel Beer in that quarter, and they only hit 5 out of 16 from the field. That translates to 27.8% shooting from the field. That's against 52.2% from the field by Magnolia. So that was a big disparity right there. But if you ask the question, was that an upset? I feel it wasn't. You've got the 2 best teams in the league. #1 was San Miguel. #2 was Magnolia. They were actually tied in terms of win-loss records at the end of the eliminations. That was no upset.
Okay, and now, Coach Norman, the big issue for San Miguel is how to break away from the different looks that Magnolia is showing Jumar Fajardo.
Well, you can bet Coach Tito is doing a couple of things. He's coming up with different schemes to go up against Jumar. All coaches do that. When you're going to come double team, where you're going to come from when you double team, Jumar has to do a better job of reading that and being able to combat it and score the basketball or pass off to his teammates. Jumar had a great game in game 1 offensively. He scored a lot of points. The problem was the turnovers. He had 11 turnovers in the game, so he just has to do a better job of reading where that defense is coming from and, at the very least, shoot the basketball instead of turning it over.
And that will be one of the issues as you take a look at some of the faces that Jumar Fajardo saw in game number 1. In the meantime, ayan, Sanggalang just doing well, Quinito, stepping out forward, especially when Magnolia needed it the most.
Well, Ian Sanggalang in game #1, 29 points. Yun ang career high para sa kanya, along with 9 rebounds. 14 out of those 29 points came in the fourth period. At nakita natin yung ginawa ni Ian Sangalan in game number 1. He also punctuated that with a 13 out of 19 performance from the field. He played a total of 38 minutes and 47 seconds compared to June March 42 and 59. At yan po ang sinabi ni Ian Sangalan. He's all fired up for game number 2.
Okay, in the meantime, let's send it to Noel Zarate, who's doing the Parker duties tonight, to introduce the lineup for game number 2.
A 5'10" guard from Zamboanga City, number 14, Mark Barroca. And a 6-foot guard from Tondo, Manila, number 3, Paul Lee. Head coach for Magnolia is Chito Victorino. And now the starters for the San Miguel Beermen. A 6'2" guard from Leyte, number 6, Chris Ross. A 5'11" guard from Quezon City, number 5, Alex Camagnot. A 6'3" forward from Ilocos Sur, number 13, Marshall Lessiter. A 6'4" forward from Lubao, Pampanga, number 29, Arwin Santos. And a 6'10" center from Cebu, number 15, Julmar Fajardo. Head coach for San Miguel is Leo Austria. Our referees for this game, Noel Kinigan, Emmy Taquion, Romel Gruta, and Mike Flordeliza. This game is held under the supervision and regulation of the Games and Amusement Board. Ladies and gentlemen, game 2 between Magnolia Hotshots, Papa Zamboanga, and the San Miguel Beermen.
Okay, we welcome you to the start of game number 2. The starting lineups being flashed on your screens. Nice to see Chris Ross in that starting roster as we all get ready to put the ball in the air. This quarter is brought to you by Cobra Energy Drink. Simula na ang labanan ng tunay na lakas. First possession belongs to Magnolia.
Coach Norman, both teams making some changes, very slight changes in their starting lineup. For the Magnolia Hot Dogs, they brought in Rome De La Rosa. They started Rafi Rivas in game number 1. So now they're playing with slightly less of a big lineup on the floor.
First attack by Magnolia, and the Pambansang Manok did not convert. And here comes San Miguel walking it up.
And to add to that, Chris Ross is on the floor for San Miguel. He's starting this particular game, and he's a major cog in the San Miguel engine.
Now you look at Kyle Pascual. He's the first defender against Julmar Fajardo and Mark Barroca, providing the double team. He'll be called for the foul.
And there's the thing that Julmar was seeing throughout game number 1, that double team, and it makes that spin. There's a smaller guard that pesters him from the blind side.
Well, Barroca came right away that time as soon as he received the basketball, so Julmar's going to have to read that.
Lassiter's first attempt does not work.
Well, that time, no inside presence for San Miguel Beer. Both Fajardo and Arwin Santos way outside in the perimeter, allowing the easy rebound by Magnolia.
Commissioner Willie Marshall is very nostalgic tonight, I noticed. He had something to say about Norman Black being on the panel right away. Meanwhile, first basket, Ian Sangalan.
Yeah, it's good out-of-bounds play there to get Ian open. And we were going back to Julmar Fajardo. He's going to have to read where that double team's coming from, whether it's coming on the dribble or whether it's coming right away. That's going to be one of the keys to the game for San Miguel.
That's a good point. In the meantime, Arwin Santos trying to be deliberate. Chris Ross and company have 7 seconds on the shot clock as Capagno tries to back up. Oh, Barroca gets his second foul right away.
And Alex Capagno very quick to attack the mismatch at the point guard, or rather at that particular position, because now Chris Ross is back playing point guard for San Miguel Beer.
Pay Maya play brought to you by Pay Maya, the official payment partner of the PBA. Just press the account. You can get an account, just download the Pay Maya app. That's what you do. In the meantime, Paul Lee didn't score that much in game 1, and there he is. Sangalan scoring again.
Yeah, great ball movement there by the hot shots. And so far, San Miguel's having a little bit of difficulty in their half-court offense.
Pascual is all over Fajardo. Expect the double. There's Lee. But the quick pass out by Fajardo. Capagno drags them all inside. No, and the rebound control by Pascual. Lee gently, slowly, down the middle. And San Miguel.
They're going to call a quick timeout. Coach Leo is.
Yes, he is. And they cross the midcourt line. And we are going to have a timeout. Our first break. It is 6-0. Magnolia. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the PBA Philippine Cup. Kanina nakausap ko si Coach Leo Austria. He pointed out that his team was able to score 103 points against one of the best defensive teams in the league. So kaya talaga nila mag-bounce back. All they have to do is balance out their performance, lalong-lalo na pagdating sa kanilang depensa. Now, Coach also pointed out na medyo naging kampante daw ang Beermen when they got that double-digit lead. He also realized in the end that he could have put in his bench players earlier in the game when he had the opportunity. Yun lang nga, when he decided to make them play, it was already too late because Magnolia made a run and he was forced to return his starters who ended up playing above their 36-minute average, gentlemen.
Okay, Selena, thank you very much. Finally, San Miguel getting on the board after that timeout. Arwin Santos with a drive to the basket.
But that's something Arwin's going to have to do. He should not settle so much for those three-point shots, but instead up fake and take it to the hoop.
You know, I noticed, Coach Norman, that over at the San Miguel side, you see Ian Sangalan again scoring from the inside. But you've got Ron De La Rosa, who's defending Chris Ross, and then you've got a mismatch over on the other side with Mark Barroca against Marshall Lassiter. San Miguel still not going to that mismatch against Barroca.
Here's Junmar, spotted from the outside.
And the way Pasquale's playing Jumar defensively, he's not going to be on the court very long because he's playing him very physical. So you expect Jumar's going to be very physical on the other end of the court.
Our ball game at 8-4, 8 minutes 25 to go in the first quarter. It took a while before San Miguel got their production on. It was a 6-0 run.
And what about the versatility of Junmar Fajardo? Scoring that basket facing up instead of just backing in. When he backs in, Coach Norman, it invites the double team. But when he's facing up, difficult to double team when you've got a guy with that kind of range.
You can also see exactly where that double team's coming from.
Quinito, let's start with your Dean's List for Magnolia.
Well, for Magnolia, first thing is they need to pressure and then transition, because we saw in game number 1, a lot of points scored by Magnolia off the fast break, 13-6, also in transition points, 20-12. Malalim ang rotation of Magnolia. 7 players, at least 20 minutes a game, none over 40, while San Miguel had 5 players, at least 20 minutes with 3 over 40. And finally, dapat idaan sa butas ng karayom si Junmar. And for San Miguel Beer, they need to start strong but finish stronger. Ipitin nila si Paul Lee sa pick and roll. Not really for Lee not to get the shots, but also for Lee not to be able to pass to Sangalang. And finally, I think Arwin, as you were mentioning, Coach Norman, really should help in the rebounding, because game number 1, he took 11 3-point shots against 4 from 2-point distance. Didn't help too much in the rebounding end because he was way outside of the perimeter.
Junmar Fajardo with a miss previous to this, and there's a foul. I think it's Arwin Santos who may be guilty of this one. Yes, it is. And here's a smart assist brought to you by Smart. Be there like never before.
Well, the one thing I've noticed right away is the referees are letting them play physical, and you're really going to have to adjust to that immediately. You're not going to get cheap calls in this game.
Which team do you think has the advantage if it's a physical game?
Well, San Miguel has Jumar Fajardo. He's the most physical guy in the league.
Without exerting too much effort, really.
He doesn't really have to, yeah.
Such so natural as Junmar. Oh, Kabagnot spiraling free in that exchange of screens. And here come the hot shots. Burning rubber as they slow down. Barroca over now to Lee, uses the screen. It is a coping a block.
Well, Paul Lee keeping that ball alive by tapping it away.
There's that shot of Sangalang. It doesn't work this time. Oh, offensive foul.
Kyle Pascual standing his ground.
Well, going back to what you were saying earlier about Lassiter being guarded by Barroca. Barroca's a pretty physical guy for a small guy, but at the same time, Lassiter is really a perimeter shooter. He's not really an inside player, so that's probably why they've matched up those two against each other.
Plus getting Ron De La Rosa to defend Chris Ross, making it a little difficult for Ross because he's being defended by a taller, bigger guy.
And Ross is coming off an injury as well as we go to this shot behind a squad at the start where Junmar uncontested for that rebound. San Miguel is taking it slow, deliberate, trying to make the pace comfortable for them. 15-footer, it drops. Taking it closer, gentlemen, rather than firing all those three-pointers.
Exactly.
I expect San Miguel to really pound it inside this game. That's the advantage they have going into this series.
But I think pace is also very important in this game. As we're seeing San Miguel Beer, they're playing more deliberate than they did in game number 1.
Paulie knocks it down from the baseline and makes it 11-6. In just a short while, we'll have our first money ball question. But in the meantime, here's San Miguel bringing it up. Junmar providing the shield. There's a roll, but no pass. Ross is free in the corner. Bingo!
And if you go back to the history of this San Miguel Beer team in the last few years, if Ross gets off from the perimeter, they're going to have a pretty good game.
Baroka directing traffic.
You know, Chris Ross really saves his best for the finals. And how many finals MVP awards has he had? I think at least 2.
At least 2.
But Chris Ross, he's hitting only 22.8% from beyond the arc in this conference. But then he made his first 3-point shot.
Yeah.
It's the finals.
Yeah.
That's where you see the best of Chris Ross.
Sandali, mga kaibigan. Dribblers, open your money ball up dahil baka manalo kayo ng 3,000 pesos. Ito ang ating Phoenix Pulse money ball question. Sino ang tanging player ng Magnolia na nahirang na PBA Player of the Week sa 2018 PBA Philippine Cup na ito? Paul Lee, Ron De La Rosa, o Ian Sangalang?
That's Pascual's second foul in this game. Once again, up fake by Arvin, straight to the basket.
Yep. And I think he probably attended our pre-game discussion.
Right.
And that's why he's driving hard to the basket.
And I think that's important for him to go closer to the basket because if he misses, at least he has a chance for an offensive rebound.
It's hard to guard him anyway, so might as well drive to the basket. We're tied at 11. Time down to 4:44 in a fast-flying first quarter. Lee with a spin.
Now that's sweet. That's just a nice move by Paul Lee.
And he's making up for what he didn't do in game number 1, Coach Norman. Only 4 points for Lee in game number 1. Right now, he's already got 6.
The pass. I thought Chito Victorero would jump for it.
Actually, that was a good read by Alex, throwing that cross-court pass. It's just that he threw it a little bit too high.
Yeah, a little too high. Paymaya play brought to you by Paymaya, the official payment partner of the PBA. Get an account in a minute. Just download the Paymaya app.
First man off the bench here for San Miguel Beer is Eruela, not Matt Gonuelas.
Itong series sa Ginebra, it was Canuelas Roser that often came off the bench.
Well, actually, Gonuelas started the last 2 games in the Ginebra series.
Yeah.
He also started in game 1 sa series na to.
In the meantime, this falls short.
Again, hindi nagmamadali ang San Miguel.
Yeah,
they want to preserve their minutes. They're pacing the guys. They want to make sure they have enough gas in the tank for 4 quarters.
And Aaron says, so much for layups. I'm going to shoot. I need a 3, and he has 9.
Well, that's what happens when you drive to the basket. Guys cannot crowd you too much. Now you're even more open for those 3-point shots.
And it suddenly felt good that he had scored on those layups and that 15-footer earlier. Here's on the Halalo drive. Rivas finds himself wide open. No, tip in, no. Rebound, Tabaknot. Tabaknot dictating the slow, deliberate pace, not forcing it. Into the corner we go with Heruela.
You know,
Junmar wrestling.
This is an early rest para kay Ian Sangalang. He's not on the floor right now.
Tabaknot scoots out and lost by Arwin in the corner. Ramos will be coming in for the first time, replacing Pascual. And we're going to look at this block brought to you by Copico Black. Sarap ng boom, sing Copico Black.
And Kyle Pascual did his job here in the first quarter. He's a little bit winded right now after battling Junmar
For just about 8 minutes.
But you're seeing Magnolia now, 3 players off the bench so far in this game in the first quarter. And that's really the thing about Coach Chito Victorero. He spreads out the minutes.
We've got a timeout, gentlemen. We'll bring you all back together in just a short while.
Welcome back to the PBA Philippine Cup. Now, Coach Chito reminded his players na wag maging kampante. He pushes them to keep the same effort and intensity throughout the game. Dagdag ni Coach Chito that he wants the team to stick to their defensive identity because from there, their offense follows. And just in case you're wondering, guys, Justin Melton won't be playing in today's game as he sustained another hamstring strain. His coaches want him to take the time he needs to recover so as not to aggravate the injury, guys.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, Selena Dagdag, completing our broadcast team for tonight. 14-13, San Miguel by 1 point, 2:58 to go in the first.
So Yancy do a compos in the game for Jumar Fajardo. So Jumar getting a pretty early rest here in this game.
Those few minutes of rest are so valuable for the players. Catch a drink, view the game differently as Arwin cuts up the inside. The shot won't go. Yancy reaches for it, tries to pass it out, sends it back to Arwin. Arwin dancing with Rivas. Ball is snapped away by Halalon. Caruela is there. Caruela trying to cut up the interior. Shot back down to 2. Puts it up. Yes! At may kasama pa yatang foul.
What a play by Haruela.
Coach Chito was asking for a traveling. He still is asking for it.
Didn't look like it was traveling as you check out this drive brought to you by United Auctioneers Incorporated.
I think it might have
the
shifted.
biggest auction company in the Philippines, ISO certified, sa bidding, ikaw ang bida.
Well, he definitely moved his pivot foot.
Yeah. It looked like a travel there, but hindi natawagan ng referee.
Oh, nakalusot na yun. In the meantime, Halalov, 2 minutes and 18 to go. 17-13, San Miguel with the upper hand, although Magnolia had the early surge and 6-0. Long cross-court pass. Halalon with a nice upgrade. Baseline attempt. Ribs out. Rebound, De Ocampo.
2 minutes.
Cabagnot looking for the big man.
Wide open.
De Ocampo was surprised to be open, Kinita. Suddenly said, am I open?
Exactly, because Oscar Ramos is defending the post, and that's really not his natural position. Kaya nawala doon sa diskarte si Ramos sa position. And that's why Yancy got himself wide open.
And Magnolia double teamed that pick and roll that time. That's why Yancy became so
Open.
So
on the
wide
play.
open. I think he was surprised to be that open.
Yeah.
Here's Halalon. Ramos zips it back to Halalon. We're down to 1 minute and a half. Quick hands of Canuelas Rosser. He flies, uses his left. Rivas angling him away.
Rivas chasing him down,
Yeah.
making sure that there would be no transition 2 points for San Miguel.
Canuelas Rosser was so concerned about that. Didn't focus on the iron, actually. Rivas, short step, no. Still, hot shots fall, no conversion, but they get it back.
Well, Yancy's having a hard time getting off the floor for those rebounds, because he was right in the middle of the pack there.
And what about Yancy and Rafi Rivas on the same floor at the same time? And you remember, of course,
Yeah.
that Rivas was the 2nd overall draft pick in 2002. Yancy was the 1st overall draft pick that same year.
Some time has passed, huh? In the meantime, that is lost by Cabagnot on the crossover.
And good hands by Rafi Rivas.
Yes, indeed.
Deflecting that.
Libre! Palalo!
Oh, Yancy De Ocampo was nowhere near the glass to get the defensive rebound.
And that was something that hurt them in game 1, the fact that they didn't cover their defensive rebounds the entire game. A lot of times that's because Jumar's off the floor.
Well, also the offensive rebounding in game 1, it was 23 for Magnolia and only 14 for San Miguel.
Magnolia is a team that loves to rebound as a unit. They know they don't have so much size, especially without fingers with them. In the meantime, Alalo picks up the air and backs. Hey, double dribble. Yes.
But the trapping pick and roll defense of Magnolia is really affecting the offense of the Beermen.
And we've got Brundia. We got
Harden.
Sanggalang, yeah, and Harden coming in for the first time. Si Sanggalang ang bumabalik. And Junmar comes back in.
And Herndon's there for defensive purposes, although he showed in the 4th period
And
of
what
game
you're
number
about
1.
to say.
Nakakuha siya ng 8 points in the 4th quarter.
Cabagnot cuts up the defensive stab.
made it.
Gets it to go.
Well, Coach Chito's asking for traveling once again on the play.
Jason Webb is also asking for the same thing. Let's wait for the official call here. Watch this. Yep, maybe. Change of pivot foot, huh? Ang tunay na lakas move, hatid sa inyo ng Cobra Energy Drink. Walang talo at 13 pesos mo. Boy, that first quarter just flew. It is San Miguel by 2. We'll be right back here in the Mall of Asia Arena. Okay, answer to our Phoenix Pulse Moneyball question. Number 1, si Paul Lee. We are just moments away from the start of the second quarter. There are some dancers on the floor that Norman Black finds very interesting because they could play.
Yeah, they're very athletic.
As we take a look at the battle that has ensued between these two.
Well, you see Alex Cabagnot, 27 points in game number 1, 14 points for Mark Baroca, but only 2 points for Cabagnot in the fourth period. Actually, Baroca also hit a very crucial two-pointer late in the fourth period
San
of
Miguel,
game number 1.
San Miguel, such an awful offensive stretch in that fourth quarter.
That's correct. And like we mentioned earlier, Magnolia only led the game for 2 minutes. The entire game, yet they won the basketball game.
Which at the stretch when it really mattered. As we welcome you to the second quarter, and it's brought to you by Cobra Energy Drink. May laban ka. Your thoughts about how the game has gone so far, Coach Norman?
It's been very, very physical. I thought Magnolia did a good job at the end of the first quarter, trapping the pick and rolls of San Miguel, which caused some turnovers. Remember, a couple of guys for at least Alex Cabagnot has not rested in this game yet, so he's been out on the court for a long time.
Now that you mentioned, Kinito, your thoughts about the first
Well,
quarter?
it's been low scoring. Neither team even scoring 20 points in the first period. And that's more Magnolia's style. Anytime that they were able to hold opponents to less than 20 points in a quarter, that's their style. They like to play a defensive game, low scoring.
In the meantime, there was a block by Fajardo, a Copico block, brought to you by Copico Black. Sarap na move. Gising Copico Black. On the other hand, on the ensuing play, offensive foul called against the Beermen.
Well, back in game number 1, ang San Miguel nakapuntos ng 33 in the first quarter. I mean, what an explosion. And now they've scored just 19 in the first quarter of game number 2.
And now Halalan called for the traveling to the interesting smiles of the Magnolia coaching staff because they can't get a traveling call.
That really wasn't traveling. He slid his pivot foot. But look at the defense that Halalan puts on the point guards. He really pressures from end to end.
And also different man now on Junmar Fajardo. It's Ian Sangalam defending Junmar. And you've got Aldrich Ramos extending his defense outside and making Arwin Santos miss from beyond the arc.
Is it on Fajardo? Yes, it is on Junmar Fajardo, his second. And he has a very surprised look. Leo Oster looking at the floor.
Well, the Magnolia players are playing him very, very physical, and he's not getting too many calls, so he looks a little bit puzzled by what's happening.
Is that normal for you coaches to look at the floor when there's a call like that? No, not really.
Well, Coach Leo's saying, hey, if you're going to allow them to be so physical against Junmar, you can't call that against Junmar.
Okay.
That's what he's probably thinking.
A dangerous situation here because Junmar Fajardo gives you over 40 minutes a game. Now he's got 2 personal fouls in this one.
And Junmar with an emphatic rebound. Don't mess around with me in the box. Turn around, that's all. Now it's physical. Now it's really physical.
Well, it's been physical right from the start. The referees have allowed it, and the players are reacting to it. This is the way you want to see it. I mean, this is playoff basketball. This is the championship. You might as well let these guys play.
What you like about Magnolia's defense is that they're making Junmar Fajardo take shots that he ordinarily wouldn't. That time he spun around the other way when he should be spinning around closer to the basket.
Towards the backboard.
Right, so making it a little more difficult for Junmar to get his angle for the shot.
In the meantime, gentlemen, there's an official's timeout being requested by our table officials, and if we have a chance to do so, let's go to Selena. Selena,
Yes, gentlemen, in the huddle of SMB, Coach Leo advises the players to calm down and run the tempo of the game. Wag daw papa-pressure masyado sa Magnolia. He also wants to see more ball movement from his team instead of them forcing their shots. Lastly, Chris Ross reminded his teammates to crash the boards for their rebounds. He believes the team could definitely do more of that this quarter, guys.
Well, I think going back to Jumar for a second, definitely he's rushing his shots, and mainly because he knows they're going to double team. So he's trying to get that move in as quickly as he can. Just has to slow down a little bit and take his time.
Lassiter being provided a screen by Fajardo, who fades away from it. Arvin looking inside. Manuelas Rosser shoots. Yes.
That's a guy who knows his strength. He knows he's good around the basket. He's not really a perimeter shooter, so he takes his shots right there in the lane.
Plus, he's so good in movement without the ball. He's able to find himself open for one-on-one situations close to the basket where he can make his shot.
Can you imagine when he starts learning how to shoot it from afar? In the meantime, that shot does not work, and the rebound, Manuelas Rosser.
Very interesting. Chris Ross has not come back into the game as Jumar taps it over to Rosa for the 2 points. Chris Ross has not come back into the game. And remember, he got hurt in that semifinal series, and he really hasn't played as many minutes as he normally does.
Yes.
And going back to Selina's report earlier about the ball movement for San Miguel here. That was an excellent pass coming from Junmar Fajardo for a wide open Matt as well as Rosser. That's what they need. Those extra passes, making sure that they have the high percentage shots.
And so far in this series, it's been a coming out party for Ian Sangalang, as he has really played well.
He has developed a couple of shots that we have not seen of late, but look at him apply body pressure on Junmar Fajardo, not the easiest of tasks.
You see the zone defense being put up there by, good defense by Ian.
Without committing a foul there. Here's Halalon. Does not want to waste this possession. PJ Simons spinning and scoring.
It's almost like Simone and Paul Lee have that strong dribble right, spin back to the left with a soft touch.
Which is not that easy to do, huh?
No, it's not that easy, you're correct.
Canuela Rosser tapped by Aldrich Ramos into the corner. Quick release. Yes!
That corner has been good for San Miguel Beer.
You're right.
That was the same corner where Chris Ross hit a three-pointer earlier.
Near steal by Canuela. Alalo open, does not take it. Earned it from the side. No. Junmar reaches for it. There's arm contact, could be on PJ Simon.
Chris Ross and Rafi Rivas are about to check back into the basketball game.
As we take a look at this PayMaya play brought to you by PayMaya, the official payment partner of the PBA. Get an account in a minute. Just download the PayMaya app.
And that was a play we were referring to earlier, Coach Norman. But Junmar Fajardo, his ability to pass the ball and find the open man close to the basket.
Well, despite
when the defense is focused on him.
Despite being so great, he's very unselfish. He will give the basketball
that's
up.
all right. Santos at the corner. Three!
That's an 8-point lead now for San Miguel Beer.
Arvin has pocketed 12 points. Rivas, top of the keyhole, too far away to do anything. Hernan slows it down. Manuelas Rosser needs steal. Nearly completed. Arvin on the sideline.
It's interesting, the matchups. I'm trying to get into the heads of both the coaches here, as when Paul Lee came back into the game, so did Chris Ross. As Coach Leo's trying to make sure that Chris Ross matches up with Paul Lee as much as possible.
Coach Norman, Marshall Lassiter, hardly any touches, no points at all.
Good point, though.
Well, he'll be okay with that, because what's happening on the defensive end against Jumar, they're not doubling him right now. That's why you see Jumar holding the ball quite a bit, waiting for the double team. It's not coming. It's when the double teams start coming that Lassiter's going to be able to get open for open shots.
So all these different schemes.
Well, Coach Chito, he doubled right away at the beginning of the game from the first man, then he took it off, He's dropped into a little bit of a zone against Jumar just to show him different looks and try to mix it up.
And Ian Sangalang, he was actually playing him one-on-one defensively.
In the meantime,
It was Kyle Pascual. That was when they were doubling.
That's correct, yes.
Rivas pops it from afar. No, rebound loose. It'll go to San Miguel. Seven minutes and 14 seconds remaining in the second quarter of game number 2. Glad you're with us wherever you're watching this. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Coach Norman Black is with us tonight, along with the Dean, of course, Kinito Henson. The look inside by Ross. Junmar tapping it back to Ross. Arvin firing. Not this time around. Paulie hooks it down. Lee sends it to the side. The looper by Baroka.
And that's a difficult shot. You're on the run, you float it up there, you don't use the backboard. You have to have a lot of touch to be able to make that shot.
And a lot of praying ability also. That's a long toss to the top of the key. Lassiter with a touch and release. And delivery!
That's the shot that he wanted. Top of the key. Taking it over a much smaller defender.
And Chris Ross looking for his partner, trying to get him involved in this game.
San Miguel ahead, 32-23 from 15. Paul Lee, a little offline. Rebound secured by Herndon. Batties on the baseline. Yes. Herndon will move out. De La Rosa's in. Take a look at this fast break. Brought to you by United Auctioneers Incorporated, the biggest auction company in the Philippines. ISO certified. Sabihin ikaw ang bida. We will slide into this timeout. Welcome back to the Mall of Asia Arena. And when you're a coach, you're always thinking of these things, Coach Norman and Kinito.
Well, yung quote ni Chito Victorero about their starters, and you see a lot of those minutes being played by San Miguel. And you talk about pacing San Miguel in this game. Looks like they're preserving the minutes of their players. Lassiter has now hit his stride with 2 3-pointers. In this quarter so far.
Pinansin mo eh, hindi na tumitira eh. Kung pinansin mo, pumasok tuloy.
0 yan sa first quarter.
Lee says, ako naman. Ayaw, Junmar tapping it to the wrong party. And Barroco says, let's reset the table. May bagong bisita dumating. Rivas with the shield. Bang! Bang! Bang!
Yeah, good screen there by Rivas to get his teammate open.
And that's the first 3-point connection ng Magnolia. San Miguel nakaka-6 na.
Here's Lassiter. Santos not moving off the shield. Santos. Travel.
Traveling. Substitution, Rodney Rondell for Ian Sangalang.
I went just checking. Did I mix up my dance steps just that moment? Okay, check out this Pay Maya apply. Brought to you by Pay Maya, the official payment partner of the PBA. Get an account in a minute. Just download the Pay Maya app.
Rondell in for the first time, spelling Ian Sangalang. So you expect even more physical defense in the interior for Magnolia.
Yes, Coach Chito using all of his bigs against Jumar.
Everybody who is above 6'3" siguro will be used as that shot.
Oh! That's a 3-point shot.
And that's when you feel like a brilliant coach, you know?
Coming out of nowhere, coming straight from the bench. Rondell hitting it from 3.
Is that the moment when you're nodding your head?
Yeah, that was a great substitution there, yeah.
Lassiter says, I want it back!
He's feeling it right now.
Yeah. He's in the zone. He's got 9 points. All from 3-pointers.
And all coming in the last 3 minutes of the game.
4:11 to go in this first half, which is really moving quickly. The pass, Rondell looking for it. Picking it up downstairs, saves it. Shot clock down to 4 seconds. There's a foul, could be on Ross here.
Looks like they're not going to give him the shots.
No, not indeed. Moneyball question, number 2. You can win 3,000 pesos here if you answer this Phoenix Pulse Moneyball question. Sino ang #1 overall sa average assists at steals ngayong conference? Cabagnot, Halalon, or Ross? 1, 2, 3. Buton na kayo.
Shot clock at 14 seconds.
7 3-pointers now scored by San Miguel Beer.
Ilan ang kabila? Isa lang.
Dalawa.
Dalawa. Here's Baroka driving hard. Here's the awkward shot, hits the edge of the board.
Well, better defense that time by Arwin Santos, not allowing Magnolia to have a good look at the basket.
There's Lassiter dragging the defense with him. Outside to Arwin, inside to Junmar. A foul from behind, most likely. Could be Brundial here.
And if you're Junmar, you have to almost have like an import attitude where you just have to try to foul out as many guys as you can. Because you know a lot of these guys are just out there to give up fouls against Junmar.
Okay.
I'm bringing them all down.
That's right.
That's the attitude to Junmar.
Until you get back to Ian Sangalang, because you know Ian does not want to commit a lot of fouls.
Up, Baroka with the foul. That's Baroka with the foul.
He held him down. Baroka holding Junmar down. And Junmar's really down now.
He's holding on to his right hamstring area. And out to the knee.
Pangatlo na yan ni Mark Baroka.
And
you watch it here again. And there was that pick. E tapos he shoved him back. Shoved him aside. So that's a foul.
Pahakbang si Junmar eh. Kaya wala siyang center of gravity eh.
Well, they always say the big men take the most beating in any game. Remember Shaquille O'Neal before, how he used to take a beating in the games, but you know, the referees don't always call it because they're so big.
Don't be such a crybaby. I remember in an NBA, a referee used to call that for the big men.
That's correct, yeah.
Now we haven't had too many free throws in this game.
Kaya bilis nitong first half eh.
Yeah, in this second quarter, this is the first time that either team has gone to the line. And back in the first period, Magnolia was 1 out of 2 from the line, and San Miguel was 1 out of 1.
First free throw brought to you by Smart. Be there like never before. And the second one as well will be brought to you by Smart. Be there like never before. Junmar sitting down now.
Well, we mentioned earlier about the fact that, you know, there's a lot of physical contact that's not being called, which is okay. I'm okay with that. But that means you're not going to have very many foul shots in the process.
Yun lang, yun lang. In the meantime, I see the teams moving into a timeout mode. It is a full timeout requested by Magnolia. Okay, we're checking out the Smart move brought to you by Smart. Be there like never before.
Well, Coach Norman, in this quarter so far, it's like the shoes on the other foot. Magnolia scoring only 12 points so far.
Yes.
While San Miguel Beer already with 21.
Meanwhile, Gio Halalon with the baseline connection. Yeah, oh, there.
Okay.
Parang hindi mo pinansisigin ito eh, but yeah, it's now on.
Yeah, we were talking about Magnolia's defense in the first quarter, but now San Miguel Beer doing well offensively and also holding Magnolia just 14 points so far.
And I always say, if you can make your outside shots, the game becomes a lot easier, particularly for the coach.
Yeah.
And San Miguel has been hitting their outside shots so far here in the first half.
So many personalities here tonight. Senator Sani Angara is here. Actor Philip Salvador is here. Presidential Assistant Bongo is here. Vice Mayor of Pinyan Laguna is here. And in the meantime, the ball is at the top. And we take a look at the answer for our Phoenix Pulse Moneyball question. The answer is number 3, Chris Ross.
Lassiter has come alive here in the second period with 11 points. On the other hand, for Magnolia, sino puputahan nila, no? Paul Lee, 6 points in the first quarter, 0 so far here in the second quarter.
Ross with a suicidal drive. By the way, Billy Mamaril is already in the game. There's a foul in the ensuing rebound play.
It's only going to be the third team foul on San Miguel. It's going to be a side throw. This is a very important 2 minutes for both teams, actually, for Magnolia to get back into the game. And on the other side, Jumar's on the bench, so if Coach Leo can leave him over there for the last 2 minutes of this first half, that's going to help him in the long run.
Kinito kung boksingero siya lalo, anong weight yan?
2 minutes.
Depende kung ano.
Parang, kasi pag tinatamaan, parang sige.
Mga 160 pounds yata yan. So middleweight, division. Oh. Yung nga, mukha lang flyweight.
Yun lang. Excuse me, the ball doesn't want to go with Arwin. Arwin says, give it back to me.
I think Coach Leo's done a good job adjusting his rotation. You've got an offensive foul here against San Miguel. Billy Mamaril, hindi yan naglaro sa game number 1. Now he's being used to be able to give Junmar Fajardo a few more precious seconds, maybe minutes on the bench.
And he can do that because they have a 9-point lead.
Yes.
You just saw an example of Lassiter in the post. He's not that comfortable down there. And that's why he came up with that offensive foul.
There are just some players who are very few of them who know how to play with their back to the basket, know how to place it. Alano cuts up the inside, cuts it down to 7.
There seems to be no fear from the Magnolia players if Jumar's out of the game. When he's out, they start attacking the basket.
Cabagnot, meanwhile, telling the referee we need a timeout. Is it a 30 or is it just a 30-second timeout?
I think it's important for someone from Magnolia to start picking up the scoring because Paul Lee has been attempting dito sa ating second quarter. Hindi po mapasok yung mga tira niya. It has been Gio Halalo. He's got 4 out of 6 points here in this quarter. He's the energy guy of Magnolia. And you watch his move right here.
It's our Cobra Power move of the quarter. Tunay na lakas move. Hatid sa inyo ng Cobra Energy Drink. Walang talo ang 13 pesos. No. And we've got a good-sized crowd here at the Mall of Asia Arena. Nakita natin pumipila sila. Maaga pa lang. And we have kids. Lahat ng tao nandito. And we have personalities as well. Mr. Bongo is here. Actor Philip Salvador is there. Well, of course, we all know that Tipel loves to play the game.
George Alcantara, I see him there. Nap Magno, one of our good friends, also in the building.
Well, just a hint of danger, and Jumar's back in the game for San Miguel.
Hint of danger. Sangalan is also there. The big man grapple with it. Junmar unable to hold on to it. It will be San Miguel ball.
Would have been an easy 2 points for Junmar Fajardo, but he was crowded that time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for Magnolia, that's important. They need to congest that lane.
Ang galing na San Miguel. That's a baseline play na yan. And Cabagnot drilling it in from the corner. Less than a minute. Junmar secures it. Look at those elbows. Nobody dares to come close.
That outside bomb has not been there for Magnolia so far. Aldred Ramos, hindi man nakaka-score sa laro.
Parang walang malinis na attempt eh. And that ball dropped. Referees confer. I think it will stay there. Alex trying to get into that same position. Lassiter bodied up on by Halalon, and they foul on Halalon.
And they are in the penalty, so that's going to be 2 shots for Lassiter.
And smart move by Marco Lassiter. Nakita niya, masyadong malapit si Gio Halalon. He wanted to put the ball on the floor, got the contact. Well, that's what he wanted.
2 free throws for Marshall Lassiter.
Lassiter shooting free throws now, brought to you by Smart. Be there like never before. 2 of 2 so far from the line.
I'm sure Coach Leo will take Jumar out in this situation to make sure he doesn't pick up his 3rd foul. As Cabagnot also goes to the bench. It's a smart move by Coach Leo. No sense in taking a chance.
And another free throw brought to you by Smart. Be there like never before. Is that something that coaches do automatically, Coach Norman? Or it depends on the situation?
If Jumar picks up his 3rd foul right here, it kind of ties his hands going into the 3rd quarter. He can't be as aggressive as he could be if he only had 2 fouls. So that's a good move.
Sangalang seeing nowhere, no daylight. And a jump ball is called.
Look at the crowding defense ng San Miguel. They want to make sure that Junmar, or that rather Ian Sangalang, doesn't have the kind of night he had in game number 1.
Please not
At
again.
29 points. Yung depensa ng San Miguel, nakatutok kay Sangalang, especially when he gets it at the post. Because he's so quick. So you need to be able to make sure that that defense is there on top of him.
He seems to have developed a few shots that have kept him in good stead. That line drive.
Good hook shot, that's right.
Yeah.
Hook shot.
And he's quick.
Yeah.
It's going to be a foul on Halalon. There's been 2 more shots for San Miguel. You know, what Sunderland has done, Benito, is he's put the other team in a situation where they have to double team him.
Yeah.
You know, he's that effective down there in the post, and he has been since his days at San Sebastian when he was in college.
I thought what he did in the NLEX series was exceptional.
Yeah.
When he used his finesse against the power guys of NLEX.
Chito Victorero, Johnny Abarientos talking with the official. Johnny's beginning to learn how to complain properly. Huh?
Is there any such thing?
I don't
Complaining
know. You
properly?
tell me. That's your
I
job.
don't know how to do that. I'm sorry. I tried my best, but it's hard. Mahirap.
In the meantime, Chito Victorero and company will utilize a time penalty here. 30. 22.1 seconds remaining.
I just want to point out here that San Miguel nakakakuha na ng 12 points from the bench. You remember in game number 1, the disparity was tremendous, 47-1. San Miguel only 1 bench point in game number 1. And the matchup here between Lassiter and Santos in game number 1 in their scoring. Lassiter now with 13 points.
Well, they both combined for 7 3-point shots, so they were able to hit from the perimeter and make it rain. And they've been doing the same thing here tonight as Lassiter has been red hot here in the first half.
So big adjustment here also for Coach Leo Austria in deepening his rotation, getting quality minutes from his reserves. Eruela now with 8 points, and Matt Canuela's roster with 4.
Baroka spin. 13 seconds to go. 46-35. San Miguel looking at possibly the last say here. Eruela. Lots of body.
And Eruela got the shot off on time, and he'll be in double figures. That's off the bench, scoring for San Miguel.
I don't think there's any objection from the Magnolia hot shots. That shot was on its way, and within time, watch this. And that'll do it for this first half of play. At the end of 24 minutes, San Miguel leads 48-35. And again, the battle lines clearly drawn. Game number 1 taken by Magnolia. In the end, San Miguel hoping to recover from that here in game number 2. And the action of the Philippine Cup Series continues here on ESPN 5. Just after these messages, San Miguel leads 48-35. Okay, 48-35 ang ating score. We'll now dissect this first half. And if we can show some of the numbers, gentlemen, take it from there. Bahala na kayong dalawa.
Well, first of all, from 3-point shooting, ang San Miguel Beer nakaka-7 na sila from beyond the arc, while Magnolia only 2. Sa free throws, mas marami yung San Miguel, hindi pa sila nagbibintis from the line. And in assists, what a big disparity, 13-4 na sinabi natin kanina, how important it is for San Miguel to get that ball rotation going, as well as block shots. And for Magnolia, they haven't even scored at least 20 points in any quarter so far.
And Norman, they're the leading scorers for...
That's right, Sangalang with 8, Baroka with 7, Halalan with 6, Lee with 6 for the Magnolia team. On the other side for the Beermen, you don't see Jumar's name there, so that's a little bit scary for Magnolia. Lassiter with 13, Santos with 12, Awela with 10, and Kabugnat with 4 points in the first half.
Roy, remember the days when we would just read the scores? There was no graphic support. We would just read the scores, and some time has passed, and we're glad that we're here for the second half of play. And how about this, Norman? How is San Miguel done in this department of getting the Kraken free here?
Well, they haven't had to because they've been making their outside shots. They shot over 50% in that first half on 3 points. And I mean, if you're going to shoot that well, then I'm sure Jumar will be happy with just moving the basketball. But now take a look out here. You've got Rivas, Sungalang, and Pascual on the floor at the same time.
Okay.
So Magnolia has gone really big.
Okay, I just want to say that the quarter is brought to you by Cobra Energy Drink by Labaca. Welcome to the third quarter.
So it wasn't like this at the start of the game. Rivas did not start for Magnolia. But there's another outside shot coming from San Miguel. And now they've scored 8 3-point shots in this game.
That has been their weapon of choice in this game.
And you can bet Jumar will be very happy if they win this game, whether he scores a lot of points or not.
In the meantime, Sangalang, that shot does not materialize, and the rebound controlled by Ross. Here's Lassiter, sends it to Arwin, momentarily free, decides to swing it around. Ross hesitates, tries to create the opening. Arwin and company have a 9-second shot clock. Ross in the corner, no. Paul Lee needs to get something going here for the benefit of Magnolia. Great pass to Sangalang, top angle. Rivas resecures it. Baroka free. No, it's at the top of the board.
No, just going back to the point of Coach Norman, as we were talking about the halftime stats. But before that, let's take a look at our Dean's List for Magnolia. 2x marks para sa kanila because pressure, then transition. Actually, San Miguel had more turnover points in the first half, 12-9. That's an X mark. Yung malalim ang rotation, well, no productivity from the relievers of Magnolia, but for San Miguel, 3 check marks. They started strong, they're finishing stronger, especially in the second quarter. Ipitin nila si Lee, and they've been able to do that. Lee scoreless in the second quarter, and Arwin Santos tumutulong sa ilalim.
At sa labas. At sa labas, dito.
That's right, hindi lang sa labas. Earlier, we saw him attack the basket repeatedly, and then when the defense started to loosen up, then he started to backtrack, and he's now hit his stride from beyond the arc.
Now look at this. Here again is a big lead, a 19-point lead, and there's a discussion as to what kind of timeout. Hindi ma-decide pa kung full o hindi, pero sa itsura nito parang full timeout. Magbabalik po kami dito sa, kasama sa inyo sa Mall of Asia Arena.
Welcome back to the PBA Philippine Cup. Here are some halftime adjustments for both teams. Unang-una para sa Magnolia. The main problem was that they were giving up too many baskets, so they want to change that coming into the second half. The coaches remind them they need to put more energy on their defensive efforts because according to coach, their victory would depend on their performance on this particular end of the court. Sa panig naman ng Beerman, the mood in the locker room was positive. The coaches were happy with the production of the bench kahit pa 2 points pa lang si Jumar. They also took note of Magnolia's aggressive offensive rebounding last game, so they want to make sure they limit that today and give them a dose of that medicine as well, guys.
Thank you very much, Selena Dagdag. Taking notes from both locker rooms. Here's Jumar Fajardo. Oh, he was fouled.
Well, Jumar Fajardo really having a hard time getting off his shots. They're playing him tough. He missed 2 close-in attempts in that situation.
Yes, Pay Maya play, sorry. Brought to you by Pay Maya, the official payment partner of the PBA. Get an account in a minute. Just download the Pay Maya.
Guess what? The only baskets scored here the third quarter so far have come from beyond the arc.
Baroka. Lee wants a serving of his own. Here comes that. Now, more or less, you could say it's a patented rally by Magnolia. This is something they did in game 1.
And you really don't want to leave Paul Lee wide open on a fast break for a 3-point shot.
Jumar gets it to go. You know, Paul Lee is like a throwback to Hato Iko or Alan Kaidig. When a 3-on-2 suddenly will burn you with an outside shot.
Basically no conscience, huh?
Yes, Paymaya play brought to you by Paymaya, the official payment partner of the PBA. Get an account in a minute, just download the Paymaya app.
And that time, just single coverage on Jumar Fajardo, scoring easily.
Well, he probably would like to get back those 2 misses he had a little bit earlier.
Right.
He was right underneath the basket.
But you know, the nice thing about San Miguel, although they had scored 2 3-point shots earlier, they still went to Jumar. So they're not exactly falling in love with that 3-point shot,
Yes.
even if that shot has been good para sa kanila.
Normally what they do is they go inside out, so they give him a touch first. If the double team comes, then the ball movement comes into play.
In the meantime, a fast break brought to you by United Auctioneers Incorporated, the biggest auction company in the Philippines. ISO certified sa bidding, ikaw ang bida. Here comes Lassiter. His dribble out of control, but tapped last by an opponent.
Well, even though the Magnolia team, they're down in this game, you can see they still have a lot of fight in them.
That was their trademark in game one. They really did not give up. Odds stacked against them in the series, really. If you think about it, they would like to live up to that underdog tag that they have. That shot does not work for Cabagnon. Here's Paulie. Nice pass to the streaking De La Rosa.
From Paulie.
Fast break 2 points that time for Magnolia. And they want to leave Junmar behind, or at least tire him out playing up and down.
Another foul and Sanggalang.
That's number 3 against Ian. Kanina, pinag-uusapan natin yung team space about yung malalim yung rotation ng Magnolia. We put an X mark on that. Take a look at this play.
Yes,
right here, the fast break 2 points.
It's a drive brought to you by United Auctioneers Incorporated, the biggest auction company in the Philippines. ISO certified sa bidding, ikaw ang bida.
Yung punto about rotation 7, Coach Norman, back in the first half, Magnolia had 11 players on the floor against 9 for San Miguel. But the bench of San Miguel more productive than Magnolia. They had 14 bench points against Magnolia's 11.
In the meantime, inbound by Baroka from the baseline. Paul Lee and Chris Ross exchanging body checks, really. And there's an inbound violation. Or is there a timeout?
Timeout. It's a timeout.
It's a
You called for a timeout.
Maraming nangyayari sa baseline lately, ano ha? In the meantime, we have a full timeout. We'll be right back here at the MOA Arena. Okay, back with us here. And the Moneyball winner, dribblers, ito ang ating Phoenix Pulse Moneyball most valuable dribbler of the game. Panalo ka ng 3,000 pesos. Papansit ka naman. Kat Sayo. Congratulations. And our ball game, 57-43, San Miguel with this advantage as large as 19 points. Here's Paul Lee. Lassiter trying to follow him. Where is this going? That play died in the water.
Well, great defense there by Junmar, who faked his defense towards Paul Lee. And of course, Lassiter also recovered back to him. That's why they forced the turnover.
57-43. Here's the tally here. Here's Junmar drawing the usual double coverage. Into the corner we go. A shot by Cabagnon. No. And where will the ball go? To the other side. Time remaining 7 minutes and 8 seconds. 57-43 San Miguel. Magnolia, of course, taking game 1. Here we go to Sanggalang. Paulie outside Baroka. High loop. It rattles out. Rebound. Nice play. Basket.
Excellent position by Ian Sanggalang for the offensive rebound.
Junmar this time just jumped there. The reason why that ball bounced off his hands. You can see it off his fingertips. Ian Sanggalang right there for the recovery and the 2 points.
But a good ball movement on the part of Magnolia to find a wide open Mark Baroka. Hindi lang pumasok yung kanyang tira from beyond the arc.
Okay,
but that's what Magnolia needs. They need to keep that ball moving.
Let's send it to Selena. Selena?
Yes, one thing that drove Ian Sanggalang to a performance that led to his career high was pure desire. Feeling niya daw kasi walang naniniwala na sila ang nanalo ng game. na lang lahat ng opponent niya. So he wanted, and he was determined to prove everybody wrong. Now, despite his recent performance, Ian remains unsatisfied. Kung ano daw napakita niya nung Friday, dapat doblehin niya pa, lalo na pagdating sa depensa niya. His scoring would just be a bonus, guys.
Thank you very much, Selena. Doug earlier, well, it's now 60-46, and Lassiter will get a breather here.
And you would think Arbin would be gun-shy in this game because he shot so poorly in game 1, but he's still yanking those threes and he's making them.
I think the early attack doing layups has given him
I thought
confidence.
so too. He had 19 points in game 1, already with 18 in this game number 2.
There's a loose ball foul.
20
points in violation.
yeah.
It's a 20
Naubusan
points.
na sila ng oras. And San Miguel really giving Magnolia a taste of its own medicine. San Miguel touted to be more of an offense-oriented team. They were #1 in offense in the conference, entering the finals, but now playing excellent defense, forcing consecutive stops.
Junmar gets it to go.
Okay, answer me a question here. Well, answer my question. Was that a pass or a shot? Could have been either one, couldn't it?
But the ability of Junmar Fajardo to keep his balance and to track the ball. Yet you miss. Oh, could have been a pass.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And that's why we'll call it a smart assist. Brought to you by Smart. Be there like never before.
Well, Ross knows that the big man's going to follow him to the basket. He just threw it right up there to him.
That's his three-point play conversion by Junmar Fajardo. Remember, he only had 2 points at the half. Now, meron na siyang 8.
Here's Rivas. 8 on the shot clock. Rivas gets it to go.
And we don't talk much about Rafi Rivas, but he's been around a long time, and just the fact that he's in such great shape and he's performing at such a high level is amazing.
The fact that he's 40 years old, but also he's won 10 championships in the league. That's an offensive foul right there.
40 seems to have been redefined, you know.
Offensive foul number 22.
Is 50 the new 40?
Subdivision Aldous Ramos for Ian Sagalan.
Well, let's ask Asi Taulava. He's still going strong at
Yun
45
ang
years old.
magandang tanong.
You say 45?
Yeah, 45.
I see 45.
In the meantime, here's Baroka.
Actually, 8 players on the San Miguel side are at least 30 years old. Oldest being Chito Lanete. 38.
pass.
Nice pass.
Calarosa from Rafi Rivas.
And look at this, it's now just 13, 4:54 to go. Cabagnon momentarily losing the handle. Here's Ross. Peeking inside, waiting for the next move of the Cutters. Cabagnon free.
Alex Cabagnon.
The ability to make shots with hands in your face. You see Lassiter do it. You see Cabagnon do it. And these guys are very, very talented, but you can see on the other end, they're playing good defense at the same time.
And the way San Miguel is playing now the half court, they're not relying just exclusively on Junmar Fajardo. If they can get shots at mid-range, they're making those shots.
Rivas battling. Rivas almost had it, but San Miguel, a pesky customer. There's a loose ball foul.
Rosa's going to pick up that foul.
Loose ball foul number 22.
This is what I'm talking about with this Magnolia team. There is no quit in them.
Subdivision Giolano from
Very
Baroka.
scrappy.
Here comes Gio Halalon returning to the ball game. We're down to 4 minutes and 8 seconds, a 15-point lead by the Beermen.
Substitution.
You know, at the top of our coverage, yung binigit ko, no, that yung pagkapanalo ng Magnolia in game number 1, everybody's saying that it was an upset, but if you take a look at their records, they were even at the end of the eliminations. Plus, San Miguel beat Magnolia by only 1 point when they played in the eliminations.
I think na sabing upset dahil doon sa laki ng lamang ng umpisa di ba?
Oo. Not because at the start of the finals, heavy underdog na yung Magnolia.
Oo. Samantala, ito yung drive. Lampas, pero may foul. May titira ng free throw. At yan ay si Alex Cabagnon.
And you can see that coming as on the other end, De La Rosa keeps posting up Alex Cabagnon in the post. So on the other side, Alex is taking De La Rosa to the hoop.
Here's the steal brought to you by United Auctioneers Incorporated, the biggest auction company in the Philippines. ISO certified, Sabiting Ikaw ang Bida. And that first free throw is brought to you by Smart. Be there like never before.
Also big disparity now in the free throws made and taken by both these teams. Magnolia, they've only taken 3 free throws in this game, while San Miguel, they're going 11 out of 11.
And that is a free throw brought to you by Smart. Be there like never before. Halalon gets it across. Up against Heruela. That's a body-to-body battle there. There's De La Rosa. Aldrich Ramos trying to provide the shield. 3.5 remaining. Third quarter. Top of the keyhole with Rivas. Halalon, who's gonna fire? To Rivas, one-hander. There's pushing and shoving.
Definitely Arwin committed that foul, holding on to Ramos.
Was one foul number 29, Arwin Santos. His second foul, 14th foul.
Second on Arwin, fourth on the
14
unit.
seconds on the shot clock.
Sideline inbound. Magnolia needs a run here. The shot does not work, and Wells Rosser reaches for it.
Coach Norman, almost like a zone defense being played by San Miguel.
As Canuelas Rosser escapes. Again, they forget about Canuelas Rosser.
And Rosser, he likes his new nickname, the Black Panther.
Okay.
And he's very good moving without the basketball,
Yeah.
getting to the open spots. Another turnover there by Magnolia.
In the meantime, San Miguel back to that 19-point lead. 2:51 to go. We've got what looks like first a smart move brought to you by Smart. Be there like never before, and I think we can slide into this timeout. You are back with us here at the Mall of Asia Arena. 69-50 is the count here in game number 2. San Miguel Beer is ahead by 19 with 2:51 remaining in the third.
Well, San Miguel, they were in this same situation in game 1 where they're up by 20 points. So
In the third period.
that's right. Let's see if Magnolia can fight back and get back in this basketball game.
I think that's what the fans are expecting, some kind of a dramatic reversal, like what happened in game number 1.
And that's not going to help
Foul
because
shot for
Magnolia is in penalty.
That's his first foul.
In the penalty, so that's going to mean 2 shots for Alex
Yeah,
Magnolia.
off that foul of Herndon.
2
And
free throws for Alex Cabagnot.
not at the line.
Well, the 2 guys that triggered the comeback ng Magnolia in game number 1 in the fourth quarter are on the floor right now. That's Herndon and Halalon.
Well, the problem Herndon would have is that he did well last game, so
Yeah.
nobody's going to leave him open now. They're really going to note where he is, and they're going to guard him.
Do you remember Lightning striking twice in a series? You know, a comeback twice happening. It must have
Well,
happened.
it's possible, but the problem is you're going up against San Miguel Beer. I mean,
Yeah.
you're not just playing any team.
You know, you can prepare and prepare to play against them. But once you're there, it's a different thing altogether. In the meantime, the pass anticipated. Here's the breakaway. Ganuela Crosser was going to dunk.
Great
Oh, look at that.
defense.
Yes, what defense by Halalon. And he forced the turnover. So possession going to Magnolia. Watch this chase down.
Yun. Well, that's one
Bola,
of those.
bola yun.
That's one of those times maybe he should have just laid it up.
Yeah.
He tried to go for the dunk, and wow, Halalon is fast.
What an energy, guys. Gio Halalon.
And he is strong. Here's a strong drive. There's a Copico block.
They got it back. They got the block, except that the possession will remain with Magnolia.
Coelho doesn't get a lot of credit, but he could be starting for a lot of teams in this league.
tough. He's a tough guy.
Great observation.
Does already 10 points in the first half of this game.
Awkward shot by Ramos. Great follow-up by Baroka.
Under 2 minutes remaining in the third.
71-52. In the meantime. Here's the cut by
Nice pick and
Mamaril.
Well executed pick and roll that time, and Mamaril rolling to the basket, finding himself wide open. But a great pass coming from Alex.
You like to see when the big men have good hands around the basket.
Oh, good point.
Catch it on the move.
And that they're quick in rolling to the basket.
The counter. Ramos with a hook shot. Getting down the 21-point lead to 19. Matt Rosser gets it across. The stretch. No. Rebound picked up by Ramos. High lead pass. Baroka.
That's a foul by Mamaril.
And, oh.
A good foul by Mamaril because they're not in a penalty.
You know, that matchup of Herndon versus Ganuelas Rosser, that goes back to their college days in the U.S. And Herndon playing for San Francisco State, and Ganuelas Rosser playing for Cal Poly at Pomona. And Herndon told me that they had matched up against each other in college.
Halalon looking for a friend. Top of the keyhole with Aldrich Ramos. Lilipat na sana si Sanggalan. Pero walang passport. Eruela. And we're down to the last 50 seconds. Nice crossover. Lolobo sana. No. Here comes Baroka. 4-on-1.
Aldrich Ramos from Magnolia.
Now, if you're San Miguel, you don't want to force the issue here.
The lead is down to 17.
You want to control the pace of the match, which they've done so far.
That's going to mean 2 more foul shots for the San Miguel team.
Sanggalan getting that foul as we take a look at this 2-9 na lakas move. Nakahatid sa inyo ng Cobra Energy Drink. Walang talo ang 13 pesos mo.
He was at pick and roll. Not against Billy Mamaril with that field goal. And Sanggalan, kasasabi lang natin, no? 4 na ang kanyang personal fouls. A little bit too aggressive on the defensive end.
Actually, marami sa foul niya sundot eh. Dalawa dun na sumusundot siya sa pasa kay Junmar eh.
You know, Sev, we've been talking about bench points. San Miguel only had 1 bench point in game number 1.
Ngayon,
what about Billy Mamaril?
nga pala.
Scoring 4 points right here off the bench in the 3rd period.
Well, giving Jumar a good rest.
Yeah.
A very long good rest. Baroka is tied up by Ganuelas Rosser. Could be a foul on Ganuelas Rosser here.
And finally, San Miguel's in the penalty, so Baroka will go to the line for the shot.
Matt Rosser with his 4th Cabagnot up from his seat, and I see Lassiter also up from his seat.
Yeah, Coach Leo's playing for the last shot. He's getting some of his shooters back into the game as Baroka misses his first foul shot.
Check out this block brought to you by Copico Black. Sarap ng boom! Gising Copico Black. And Junmar, rest is over.
What about bringing Junmar back? 11.5 seconds to go here in the 3rd period.
And leaving Mamaril on the floor.
Yeah.
Well,
making sure that just in case hindi pumasok at the free throw, they're not going to get the offensive rebound.
The dangerous guy here is Alex Cabugna, who's down the court. Let's see if they can forward the ball to him.
Chito Victorero voice operating the defense. San Miguel is still in the backcourt. Cabagnot gets it back, loses the grip, and 6/10 of a second remaining. Eruela steps in the passing lane, and that'll do it for 3/4 of game number 2. And teammates of Cabagnot hold him down. He was hoping for a foul, none given. It is 75-57, San Miguel Beer. And back with us here, it's time for the opportunity to review the game so far. Gentlemen?
Well, in 3-point scoring, nakakasampu na from beyond the arc on San Miguel Beer, and only 4 for Magnolia. And the free throws, we pointed that out, 15 attempts. Not a single miss for San Miguel, and only 5 attempts for Magnolia. Sasis doble and fast break points, well, Magnolia getting the advantage in that department. But in the bench points and the scoring department, you got San Miguel Beer now getting a lot of production from guys off the bench.
And a good thing for San Miguel, Jumar was able to get a little bit of rest at the end of the third quarter. He should be fresh coming back here in the fourth. San Miguel will be trying not to let what happened last game happen again in this game.
Remember, 13-0 opening blast for Magnolia to open the fourth quarter in game number 1.
Of course, lightning does not strike twice. But I'm going to ask Coach Norman Black, if you're Magnolia, what's at the top of your mind here in the top of the fourth quarter?
Well, you saw one of the things they're doing well. They are getting a lot of fast break points, so you want to put a lot of ball pressure on, hopefully force some turnovers like they did in game 1. And hopefully those turnovers will lead to fast break points and easy baskets.
This quarter, the fourth, is brought to you by Cobra Energy Drink. May laban
Technical
ka.
foul on Chris Ross for not reporting to the team officials.
Yeah, Chris Ross.
There's a technical foul against Chris.
Chris Ross for
And by the way, in every quarter in this game, San Miguel has outscored Magnolia.
technical free throw for
19-17 in the first quarter, 29-18 in the second, and 27-22 in the third.
Nakalimutan magpaalam ni Chris
Mrs.
Ross.
Hindi pa pumasok yung tira ni Aldrich Ramos.
Not exactly the best way to start
Right.
a rally here in the fourth with no time moving yet. Now the clock begins to move. Can't do it in one quick knockout punch. But Baroka gets the drawing.
That was a well-run play coming out of the timeout, leading to that pick and roll for Baroka.
Baroka has not been given enough credit for his skills as a player, really.
Well, to the other coaches, we give him a lot of credit.
That's a good thing.
He's a good player.
That's a good thing to hear. Turn around. Block! Block! Baroka with a comical block. Spearheading the attack, the spin, the twirl, the pass, the comical block. Also by much Manuela Stroker.
Wow.
One block deserves another.
And those were nasty blocks, too.
Yeah.
Those weren't
NGR,
city
the
blocks.
Black Panther, elevating for that tremendous block. Looks like an offensive foul against Junmar. Nabundol. Si Kyle Pascual. That's the second offensive foul that Kyle Pascual has gotten from Junmar Fajardo.
I like it when they call an offensive foul against Junmar. As you take a look at these Copico blocks. Sarap ng boom gising Copico block. As if Junmar did nothing at all. It's a little boy view of the world, really.
Well, Pascual has done a good job of just blocking his path, trying to stop him from going from point A to point B.
Yeah, that's a great point.
And
Yeah.
sometimes Jumar is just a little bit too physical trying to get to point B.
Excuse me. Then people fall apart. No chance to go inside. Here's a drive by Baroka. Shakes free against Arvin. No chance for a shot. Shot clock at 3. Bang!
And so far, hindi pa nakaka-score ang San Miguel Beer in this quarter. So could this be a repeat of what happened in game 1?
And you see the ball pressure coming from Palalon.
Junmar, here's Arvin. Shot clock at 7. Back to Junmar. The twirl, the curl. No shot conversion.
Magnolia's pushing. And PBA Governor Rene Pardo asking for a flagrant anti-regular foul against San Miguel.
Well, the referee says that Ross went for the basketball.
In the meantime, back with us, back line. Haladon. No. Arvin reaches for it. Magnolia was hoping it happened right in front of their bench. They didn't get the call. Ross, the lead is 14, 10 minutes to go. Junmar back to Marshall. Over the backboard. Selena.
Yes, gentlemen, coming into the fourth quarter, Coach Chito wants his team to capitalize on their speed. He encourages the players to dictate the tempo of the game and move quicker when it comes to their ball movement. The team was also encouraged to stay close and not let SMB pull away. Gentlemen?
Thank you very much. Selena, the dog in the meantime. Maroka beginning to be on fire here. 18 points by Mac Maroka. Beermen want to talk things over. They want to check. Stop Lightning from striking twice. Game 2 continues here from the Mall of Asia Arena. The Magnolia Hot Shots beginning to catch fire here. Mark Maroka beginning to percolate. Shot clock reduced to 1.
That's 7-0 blast here from Magnolia.
And
To
it
open
might,
the fourth period.
might continue, Kinito. Herndon. Pascual fires.
That's 9-0 now. What a blast. It's almost like deja vu.
it's all-
What nangyari sa game number 1?
It's all because of the 3 guards of the Magnolia team. They're putting so much pressure on the ball right now. It's difficult for San Miguel to execute.
Nearly stolen. It will be kept by the Beermen. Benuelas Rosser sits down. Here comes Cabagnot.
Let's see if Alex can stabilize the San Miguel team.
Ian Sakalang not on the floor here.
As this is happening, ano? And the main galing move of the game brought to you by Davis. Give me 500. Davis Mega Grill, 500 white. Maputi, makatawan at hindi maamoy. Here comes Arvin. No. Ball is loose. Halalon.
And it's still San Miguel ball. Alano not able to control. But 2 misses by San Miguel.
At close range,
Yeah. And for Magnolia, hindi naman talaga pwede that makipagsabayan lang sila sa scoring. They need to get those stops to get back in the game. They brought this lead down from 21 to now just 9.
Shot clock at 6. Here's Junmar. Steal from the blind side. Deep pass by Halalon. De La Rosa, Halalon. Herndon. Yes!
And that's 11-0. What a run by Magnolia. It's a repeat to ano nangyari sa game number 1. Magnolia opens in the fourth quarter 13-0. Now it's 11-0.
And San Miguel's worst nightmare might be happening again.
Well, that time the double team came from the baseline against Jumar Fajardo. Halalon came over and stole the basketball right there.
And it's brought to you by United Auctioneers Incorporated, the biggest auction company in the Philippines. ISO certified sa bidding ikaw ang bida.
I mean, Herndon, Halalon, Maroka, the pressure that they're putting on the basketball right now defensively is really causing a lot of havoc on the offense of San Miguel.
And San Miguel's intention of slowing down the tempo is counterproductive at this point.
And what's happening also, Seb, is by the time they do get the ball to Jumar, it's late in the shot clock already. So now they're in scramble mode.
And also Magnolia anticipating where that pass is going.
Yes,
for
that's
Jumar
also a
Fajardo
good point.
because paubos na ang shot clock nila. So now they're able to anticipate a little bit better where that ball is going to go.
Here comes Ross. Halalon all over him.
He's the energy guy. Siya at saka si Herndon.
And shot clock's down to 11.
Marshall Lassiter drive. Handled away by Herndon. Junmar Fajardo to the rescue. No basket though.
Loose ball foul on Lassiter.
Oh, Lassiter goes for the loose ball foul. No basket for San Miguel Beer and possession para sa Magnolia.
Ooh.
So, San Miguel remains scoreless dito sa ating fourth period.
Halalon. Boy, the Cyclone is back in town. Shot clock at 5. It's swatted away. Comico block. The pass, however, too much ahead. Picked up by Baroka. Pascual. No. Arvin snares it.
You know, if you're San Miguel here, you need to be composed. And we were just talking about composure and Chris Ross losing the handle, backing violation, another turnover against San Miguel.
You're talking about the pressure, Coach Norman. There it was.
And Halalon's going out of the game. Paul Lee is in. Sangalang's also in for Magnolia.
Well, we talked about the turnovers. Sorry, Coach.
Well, let's see if Paul Lee can continue to put that type of pressure on the guards of San Miguel.
Well, Coach said 4 turnovers now against San Miguel in this quarter, none for Magnolia. In game 1 in the 4th period, it was 8 turnovers against San Miguel and 2 for Magnolia.
Inside to Junmar.
That's going to be the shot.
Oh, yes, sir!
And that breaks the silence for San Miguel.
Ang tagal, ang haba, no? Almost 6 minutes. 78-68. Paul Lee, ball taken away from him from behind. Ahead to Ross. Ross can't find. Junmar is gone!
And that really started because San Miguel's defense has picked up the last 4 plays, and Jumar is in the center of that.
It is 88-68. And we've got a timeout. We will be back. But first, this Pay Maya play brought to you by Pay Maya, the official payment partner of the PBA. Get an account in a minute. Just download the Pay Maya app. And now, let's use that timeout. Back with us here, 80-68, 6 minutes and 33 seconds to go. San Miguel Beer catching fire probably at the right time to stop more water on that uprising by Magnolia. Here's Baroka. Nice screen by Sangalang. Sangalang sends it to Lee. No. Ball on the ground.
Defense played by San Miguel that time.
And the last 5 possessions, their defense has really picked up.
No pick and roll situation that time for Magnolia.
Here's Junmar shopping around, less than 8 seconds. A pass downstairs. And San Miguel is ahead, 82-68.
And Magnolia used the man of Chris Ross to help defensively against Jumar. And Jumar, like we said earlier, is a very unselfish player.
And that repost made things happen for Junmar Fajardo. Didn't really look to score, he looked to pass. A 7-0 run now by San Miguel after Magnolia opened with an 11-0 blast.
Wow, Herndon sent it to the wrong party.
Well, Chris Ross is not going to be loved by the Magnolia players after that.
Kabagnot in the box. Too sharp. Tough pass to the eye of the needle. Follow up. No. Junmar clears. Four minutes and 50. Lassiter on court. Just when Magnolia was beginning to rewrite history with the same storyline, San Miguel responding here. We have a timeout. We'll be right back.
Motivation is for our team to be labeled as the paradigm of Philippine basketball, and that's the most important thing. I think that's going to be etched in history books from now till 20, 30 years from now. And I think the way we start and the way we end our careers, we're going to be labeled as pretty much basketball gods if we get this championship.
Series far from over. We're only in game 2, and already the dramatic content and quotient, boy, at a very high level.
Well, here in the fourth period, one spurt after another, 11-0 sa pag-umpisa natin fourth period for Magnolia, and then San Miguel coming back 10-0.
Well, I predict this series is going to be hard fought throughout.
Magnolia, it's not over. And by the way, bench points, San Miguel with the edge 20-19. What a difference from game 1.
But that's close to there.
Single coverage against Junmar, looking to pass.
Nice bullet pass inside. Junmar, yes!
He's not going to
A great interior passing by Chris Ross to his open teammate.
12 points for Junmar Fajardo.
Here's Alalon. Rivas. Oh! Mayari jumping a block!
The Spider-Man! What a rejection!
Here's Junmar. Waiting, waiting. There's the push outside to Ross. No. Baroka, the pass nearly deflected. Lee gets it, baseline attempt, long.
He was not in rhythm. But they wanted to hurry up with that shot.
Lassiter aims. Oh, almost had it. 3 minutes to go in game 3. Offensive foul.
It's going to be a foul on Sangalang.
And that'll be foul number 5 against Sangala.
I'm telling you, this is going to heat up before this is over. You can see it coming. You see some of the San Miguel players talking to the Magnolia players and vice versa. This is going to be a hard-fought series.
There's really no such thing as a sisters rivalry here.
Believe me.
There's no such thing. Hindi na nga eh. Pay Maya play brought to you by Pay Maya, the official payment partner of the PBA. And in a couple of minutes, just download the Pay Maya app. We'll have a timeout by the Beerman back in a jiffy. Nakadikit na itong Magnolia pero lumayo na naman. And the passions escalating here in this game. It usually starts with staring and a little shoving and pushing.
Well, we've been mentioning it the entire game, but the fight is still there in the Magnolia team. And they're just sending a message. We'll see you again.
In the meantime, this happened in the first encounter.
Technical foul on Gino Halalo, technical foul on Arwin Santos, both for second
Both
motion.
teams have been called for technical. This was the issue, Kinito, that happened right at the end of the game, I think. Anyway, that's part of PBA history now, and this one is the present.
You know, major difference here in the way San Miguel is playing in the fourth period is that their nucleus, their starters, are much more preserved for the end game. It didn't happen in game number 1, but because Coach Leo Austria went deep into his bench, he's allowed a lot of his starters now to play with a lot more energy here in the end game in game 2 compared to game 1.
That's correct. Yes, he gave them a chance and they delivered. Even Billy Mamarill came in and scored 4 points at the end of the third to give Junmar a break.
Benuelos Rosser came in. Peruela came in as well.
Brian Mendoza is in the game for the first time.
For today's game. Technical free throw for Paulie.
So technical has been called for a delay of game. 2:32. And free throw brought to you by Smart. Be there like never before. (87-72).
It's a 15-point lead, and Jumar only has 15 points in the game, so 12 points in the game.
And can you imagine in game 1, he had 31, and they lost by 2.
Correct.
Whatever happens, our series will resume on Easter Sunday. We'll have a 1-week break. This shot does not work. And if San Miguel holds on, the series will be tied. Will be reduced to a best of 5. In the meantime, a foul. No? No, it's just lost on the baseline. And look at this high Satiba rebound brought to you by Eagle Cement. High Satiba.
Last 2 minutes. Brought to us by Tag Heuer.
The last 2 minutes of this game.
Yeah, Alex was anticipating the Argon would go to the basket. Instead, the ball goes out of bounds.
Last 2 minutes ang din sa inyo ng Cobra Energy Drink. Walang talo ang 13 pesos mo.
A big comeback for San Miguel tonight.
Yes.
As they're going on their way to evening this series.
You know, I thought more than their offense, San Miguel's defense made such a big impact in this game, forcing Magnolia to 18 turnovers. Magnolia only had 11 turnovers in game 1.
And they did not panic when Magnolia suddenly had that tear at the top of the 4th quarter.
They had a lot more gas in the tank down the stretch.
As you said earlier, Canito, San Miguel leads the league in scoring. There's no question about that. But you know, anybody that goes up against them, coaches against them, knows that they're the #1 defensive team in the league. Not as far as points are concerned against, because that's normally Ginebra, who normally leads in this conference. It's Magnolia, but when they turn up that pressure, when the Beermen turn up their pressure defensively, they can just create havoc on the court.
And when they start going for their fast break, you're left behind, really. In the meantime, we're down to 1 minute and 20. Here's the shot. Irving Santos! Putting his signature on this game. That's not going to work, and San Miguel.
Chris Ross is on the ground and he's hurting. And you have to figure out what happened there. Is now Lassiter's going after Braniel.
And now Magnolia is complaining that the ball was theirs.
And you could see this coming about 5 minutes ago. Oh, you can see the back screen by Braniel, backside, blindsided him.
And Braniel with that push.
Well, there was a play earlier where Chris Ross stole the ball on the baseline and he taunted the bench a little bit of Magnolia. And since then, the intensity has really picked up for both teams, the physicality. And my belief is it's going to carry over into the next game.
At least they will have the Holy Week to contemplate the meaning of life.
Yeah, okay.
And,
okay.
They'll be fine.
But question, Chris Ross, when he sort of faked passing the ball to the San Miguel, or rather to the Magnolia bench. That was like taunting.
Yeah, but I don't think the referees saw it.
Oh,
the Magnolia players saw it, but I don't think the referees saw it.
Actually, I didn't see that.
But since that happened, everything has really intensified. Yeah, maybe they'll, you know, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, they will contemplate better things. I'm not sure on Sunday, Seth.
Well, one thing for sure, this series is a war. A lot of physicality. I think also a lot of bad blood.
Yeah.
The way we're seeing.
I think so.
The way these games are being played.
San Miguel, of course, gunning for that 4th straight Philippine Cup. June Mansa's limit shot. Subukan ko lang. Gia to the side. Here's the shot. Ramos.
Aldrich Ramos.
93-74, but the Magnot is by his lonesome.
Alex Magnot.
That's called cherry picking. He's not coming down again.
Irvin climbs for the rebound. blocks the shot.
Oh, he's doing it all.
Another copy
Look
block.
at the Spider-Man breaking out of that triple team.
He wants to do something here.
Wow.
Walang down.
Oh, God.
You know, Arvin Santos, ano ba black shot na? I got at least 2 black shots here for Arvin Santos. Also 8 rebounds for him. So that's more than the 6 he had in game number 1. Na sinabi natin kanina sa team's list, Arvin Santos has to get more involved in rebounding. But he did everything in this game. 24 points para sa kanya.
A 5-second violation. Nobody was down for Magnolia to receive the basketball.
Leo Austria making some situational subs here. Louis Arvin Santos will sit down.
Well, if you like competition, you like conflict,
This is it.
tune in to Game 3.
Yeah, we extend this invitation to you to watch a teledrama here on a Sunday. And the result unknown. And that'll do it for game number 2. San Miguel Beer has tied up the series at 1 game apiece.
Ladies and gentlemen, our final score, 92-77, the victory for the San Miguel Beermen. This series is tied in 1 game apiece.
And it's 92-77 as the final count. Hard fought. Game 2, tunay na lakas mo. Atid sa inyo ng Cobra Energy Drink. Walang talo ang 13 pesos mo.
I thought excellent job by San Miguel Beer down the stretch. When Magnolia mounted that 11-0
correct,
run
yes.
to open the 4th period, hindi bumigay ang San Miguel Beer. They played with composure and poise. Then they came back with their own 10-0 run.
Sino ang ating best player, Kinito?
Napili natin si Arvin Santos, the Spider-Man, did everything, defensively, offensively in this game.
And he
when-
did a
also
little of everything.
When San Miguel needed a big shot in the face of that 11-0 run in the 4th period, that's the guy who made the 3-pointer.
And that guy is with Selena Dagdag. Selena, take it away.
Yes, kasama ko ngayon ang ating Magnolia Pambansang Manok best player of the game na si Arvin Santos with 24 points. Ako, congratulations sa iyo, Arvin. Arvin is now joined by his lovely children. Arvin, it's such a huge comeback for you guys as you managed to protect your double-digit lead. What was the difference maker in tonight's game?
Una-una di ko marinig dahil sa lakas ng mga bulyawan nila, no? Pero salamat na rin sa mga bumubu. Una-una masaya kami dahil naitay namin ang series ng 1-1. Ito, ang usapan nito ngayon, best of 5 na ngayon. Mabuti na lang, naka-catch up kami uli kasi bumaba yung lead namin kanina ng 7 points. Mabuti naka-recover kami ulit. Sana hindi na uli mangyari yun. Itong game 3, sana ma-improve namin yung mga ganong sitwasyon.
24 points, 8 rebounds. Ayun nga, speaking of Game 3, you guys have a week of break ahead of you. What do you think would be the focal point of your practice in those coming days?
Kahit may Holy Week, may sabi pa rin kami ng siguro magpe-break lang kami bukas. Then Tuesday, dire-diretso na rin yun. Kasi hindi na naman bago sa amin kahit mga mabibigat na okasyon like Christmas. Nag-iisaya talaga kami. Ganun talaga yung profession namin eh. Mahal namin yung basketball, kaya kailangan namin mag-sacrifice, lalo na may goal kami. Kaya sana makapag-ensayo kami ng maayos itong Holy Week.
Oo nga, Arvin, yung sakripisyo at hard work na yan definitely paid off tonight. May mga gusto ka bang batiin at saka pasalamatan, Arvin?
Siyempre, unang-una nagpapasalamat ako kay God at sa lahat ng mga boss namin, kay Boss RSA, kay Boss Landing Kuwangko, sa tataya ko kay Vice Gov Dennis Pineda, at siyempre sa asawa ko kay Smoothie, at sa mga anak ko kay Yogan, kay Yona, kay Audrey, kay Jaden, kay Danica, kay Ella. At sa lahat po ng fans sa San Miguel, at sa ninang ko, kay Ninang Ching, Dennis Villa Ignacio, at sa lahat ng mga Kapampangan dyan, at sa lahat ng mga SMB fans. Yun lang, God bless.
Alright, maraming salamat sa iyo, Arvin, and congratulations once again. That is all for now. I'll turn you right back to Coach Leo's press conference.
I'm happy not to tie the game dahil going to the Holy Week, so we have a lot of time to adjust to another game and we could reflect to ourselves, and I think to know what to do next dahil 1 week ito before our next game. Well, I think yung mindset. Dahil alam ko nung after first half na sinabi nila, andito na naman tayo. Sila mismo eh. And well motivated sila. Alam nila how hard, difficult to get to from the bottom. I mean, pagka nabaon ka sa 0-2, mahirap yan eh. Dahil we have another 1 week rest, so makaka-recharge pa rin sila. So now, we're able to reduce the series to best of 5 and let's see what will happen. And we have a lot of work to do dahil alam naman natin itong Magnolia talagang they really determined to win a championship, but my players I don't want to give in dahil alam nila what's the importance of this very prestigious all-Filipino conference. Yeah, definitely. I will give them a long rest at 24 hours. Okay, 24 hours, and then we will practice on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So let's see how hard they work on practice, and maybe we will get another. I will give them another day to reflect dahil it's Holy Week. Baka magalit yung nagbibigay sa amin ng blessing. It's about time to praise God and reflect yourself, what's wrong and what's right. And it's about time na to visit your family if you're here. But definitely, yung mga players na ang family nasa kailangan pa mag-aeroplano, so they will stay. And I will ask them na a little bit of sacrifice ang kailangan dahil this is an opportunity for us. Just like what I said, tomorrow, usually after the game, wala kami practice and we will see if we will work hard in the next 2 days after ng break namin. So I might give them another break, probably Friday, dahil kailangan namin mag-procession para yung blessing na binibigay namin, ibalik naman namin sa God Almighty dahil alam naman natin Friday is the right time to reflect and know what is best and what is good for yourself and for your friends and family.
Okay, God helps those who help themselves, but I'm sure the Holy Week spirit will kick in definitely. And San Miguel, with prayers in themselves, helping them along, they carved the win here in game number 2, gentlemen.
Yes, I think both teams will be reflecting during the break, and they'll get a good rest and prepare for the next game. I think it's going to be really heated coming up, and San Miguel did a great job today. They shot 43% from 3. They had 5 people in double figures. Arwin Santos played a great game for them and led them to the victory.
I think the key word here is sustainability.
Okay.
How San Miguel Beer was able to sustain its energy and momentum throughout the game.
And if we go through the game highlights, it was a battle that actually Magnolia started with a flourish. They had a 6-0 lead, but San Miguel responded just as quickly.
Low scoring first quarter, and I thought that was more the theme of Magnolia being a defense-oriented team.
Well, Arwin hits that three-point shot there, but he was able to get a couple drives to the basket that really helped him out, helped his team out in the first quarter.
9 points for Arwin Santos right in the first quarter.
And it was close and tight as we go into the second quarter.
This is where San Miguel started to pull away as Marshall Lassiter really heated up in that second quarter along with Arwin Santos. He started knocking down those threes to really separate the San Miguel Beer team.
Oh, Lassiter had 13 points in that quarter alone. Plus, yung depensa ng San Miguel Beer holding Magnolia to just 18 points in that quarter. So at the turn, Magnolia only scored 35 points.
And going into the third quarter, San Miguel beginning to feel confident about itself. Well, maybe the horrors of game number 1 have been exercised and we've taken them away. And they were dominant in that third quarter.
Well, they opened a 21-point lead in the third period. And Alex Cabagnon hit 9 of his 15 points in that quarter.
And And then suddenly, the fourth quarter resurrected some interesting ghosts. And Coach Norman, you know that in the PBA or in any basketball game, no lead is really safe.
That's correct. And Magnolia had been playing hard the entire night. They just couldn't get it together. But at the beginning of that fourth quarter, they made a nice little run against the San Miguel Beer team to give them a little bit of scare. But then San Miguel turned on the defense and really clamped down defensively against Magnolia.
That big three-point shot from Arwin Santos. But you know, Magnolia, you got to give them credit. They were down 21. They brought down that lead to 7 points in the fourth period. And I thought it might even be a repeat of game number one.
Lightning.
Well, take a look at the three-point shooting there. 13 out of 30, 43% for San Miguel. Free throws, they did not miss a free throw in this game. They're up 10 in assists, 25 to 15. And bench points, at least they played Magnolia a lot even in this basketball game.
Oh boy, a big turnaround in the statistical areas. And in the meantime, here are the leading scorers up to this game.
Baroka and Lee, the backcourt of Magnolia, combining for 31 points. And Sangalang, from 29 points in game one, down to just 11 points in this one. He was in foul trouble.
More than anything else, and didn't get the shots that he normally would make in the game. As we take a look at the San Miguel scorers.
On the other side, Santos with 24, Lassiter 16. Kabugnan with 15 points, Fajardo with 12. Really very good balance scoring coming from the San Miguel Beermen.
How do the coaches prepare with this 1 week gap? Well, you'll probably not have practice tomorrow first.
I think exactly what Coach Leo said. They'll be off on Monday, they'll be off on Friday, and they'll practice the rest of the days leading up into the game on Sunday.
But the coaches never rest. They'll start working tonight.
I'm sure they're going to look at
right
that
away.
tape.
Well, hopefully Coach Leo will reflect, as he was mentioning earlier, at least a little bit.
Yeah, a very, very good message for the Holy Week. Junmar Fajardo was double teamed, he was back, but you know, this guy will never, he'll never answer back in a very bad way. Junmar managed to get his scoring, even though it was not the usual malaking.
Well, he only had 2 points in that first half, so he scored 10 points in the second half. The rebounds will always be there for Junmar, as he's a great rebounder, and they're playing him quite physical. The referees are letting a lot go as far as contact against him, but he has a good attitude. He just keeps playing.
I think the big adjustments of San Miguel, credit to Coach Leo Austria for going to his bench, deepening his rotation, and making sure that his nucleus, his starters, would still have a lot of gas in their tank down the stretch.
But the battle of Fajardo and Sangalang is not yet over, and I think Sangalang will reflect. His word for tonight.
Well, he actually got off to a good start in this game. He had 8 points in the first half. But that's a lot of physical contact between him and Jumar Fajardo, and Jumar's got about 50 pounds on him, so he wore down a little bit in this game.
But we will not end tonight, ladies and gentlemen, without saying thank you to our guest analysts tonight. Just roll the thing, gentlemen, if you're ready. Are you ready? You got to show this.
Oh, what is this?
Look at this, U.S. player. Look at the shorts. And 11-time.
Those are sexy shorts.
Yes, look at those.
Well,
look at
Coach
those
Norman, that's when Coach Norman was a player. As a coach, he actually led San Miguel to 3 championships,
including
over
a
the Blue Foods franchise.
And including a Grand Slam in 1989. You're not smiling. You're not happy.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate that, guys.
Okay. Looks like you're not happy. We pause for a moment there. In the meantime, we invite you to join ESPN 5 on Sunday. We're still here. Willie Laude, the cameraman, is also still here. And on Sunday, we will all regroup after everybody has gone through the Holy Week stretch. And this should be a great series, now reduced to a best of 5, Kinito.
Oh, I think Magnolia's mindset should be, let's not wait for the fourth period to mount a rally. They've got to be able to do it much earlier so that they can keep the game close and then steal another game from San Miguel Beer. But now that it's tied at 1-1, you know that San Miguel has momentum, you know their talent level, and looks like Coach Leo Austria now has the secret to beat Magnolia. Use that bench.
Okay, parting shot from you, Coach, before we say goodnight.
It's going to be a great series. It's going to be hard fought. Sister teams, I don't know about that. I mean, these guys are going to be trying to really beat up on each other the next few games. So everybody tune in.
That's the rest of the schedule down the week. And that'll do it for us. In behalf of Coach Norman Black, Kinito Henson, and Selena Dagdag, and our entire hardworking ESPN 5 team, we'll have a break. We have a rest week Okay, but the work will continue when we come back to you on Sunday for the PBA. Thank you for joining us. The series is now tied.